Battlefield 2042's latest update has made some significant improvements. Data miners uncovered details on the next 2 Call of Duty games, a brand new Division game is on the way, and much more in This Week in Gaming. Update 1.1 for Battlefield 2042 introduced plenty of well-needed quality of life improvements alongside some additional content for the Portal mode. Every DMR in the game now has higher bullet velocity and increased headshot damage, making them much more deadly at range. The Sundance Specialist was nerfed and now only has 1 scatter grenade and 1 anti-armor grenade instead of 2. The Super Hind and Condor were nerfed, making their 50mm cannons less effective against infantry. Casper's recon drone now moves much slower when C5 is placed on it, and both the A10 Warthog and Su-25TM Frogfoot have been added to Portal. DICE also added a fan favorite mode, Tank Superiority, to the Portal rotation. Update 1.1 also made improvements to shader caching that should improve game performance according to DICE. This process runs when you first play a map, so you might notice stuttering or performance drops initially. However, once the process completes, you should see overall more consistent performance. DICE cautions players that the shader cache is saved on your PC's document folder. Don't delete that folder or the game will have to rebuild the cache. Also, ensure it's not being synced by OneDrive, as that can also cause performance issues. Overall, the update has been received well by fans. Next month's patch will add a new player stats page, and according to the in-game countdown, Season 1 ends on September 1st. What DICE has in store down the road is, well, really anybody's guess at this point. However, many fans agree that 2042 still needs plenty of new content like maps and weapons in Season 2. Data miners uncovered tons of sensitive information buried in the Warzone mobile game's alpha files. They also found images and references to this year's Modern Warfare 2 and the 2024 game's main title. Twitter user Reality UK shared lists of weapons, maps, gadgets, and more, all referenced in the game's files. According to him, some maps will even feature day and night cycles. Details on the rumored DMZ mode were also found. It appears to have different challenges or missions, like delivering cargo or rescuing hostages. Notes on Treyarch's 2024 Call of Duty game were also listed. According to him, it's codenamed Black Ops 6 and appears to be set during the 1990s. Activision has removed many leaked images associated with the game for legal reasons. Modern Warfare 2 is still scheduled to ship this October, but we don't expect to hear anything about 2024's COD game for a while longer. The highly anticipated God of War Ragnarok has finally gotten a release date. Fans were treated to a new CGI trailer depicting Kratos and his son fighting numerous enemies. The trailer concludes with a November 9th release date. Sony took the opportunity to showcase several pre-order bonuses and additions of the game. The launch edition rewards players with some in-game cosmetics. The digital deluxe edition offers more cosmetics, the soundtrack, and a mini art book. The collector's edition adds a replica of Thor's hammer, a steel bookcase, and a dice set. And finally, the highest-end Jotnar edition adds a vinyl collection, a pin set, a red cloth bag, and a cloth map. Tactical extraction game Hunt Showdown has suffered a content leak. The leak comes from the test branch of the game. Players have discovered references to a real-life makeshift weapon called Alof's Device. This is a janky early prototype of a fully auto shotgun. After a YouTube video of this weapon went viral back in 2020, Hunt Showdown players have begged devs to add it to the game. And it finally appears to be happening in the form of the Romero Alamo shotgun. Footage of the shotgun in-game is available on YouTube, however the weapon itself is technically hidden from players. It should launch with the Serpent Moon content update in the near future. Riot Games has announced that starting in August, it will increase the price of League of Legends in-game currencies. The publisher pinned the blame on worldwide inflation and currency fluctuations across different regions. They noted that they conduct annual reviews of their pricing anyway, but that this year's price changes are more significant than usual. To counter the price changes, Riot will host a series of promotions before the change is made. Players will be able to earn double coins with every purchase made for the rest of July. However, things will go back to normal once the update hits on August 19th. Price changes vary from region to region, but generally things are going up by about 10%. To say fans are annoyed would be a huge understatement. Blizzard published details on Diablo Immortal's first post-launch content drop. The free-to-play mobile title launched into open beta on June 2nd. It was met with varying opinions, with a lot of criticism towards its extreme monetization. The latest update kicks off a new season with 3 battle passes, weekend events, and numerous balance changes. However, as you'd expect, Blizzard avoided mentioning the monetization controversy. The Diablo Reddit in particular exploded with angry comments from fans. Many called on Blizzard to drop the intense MTX activities and deliver more content for free instead. The franchise's general manager has assured fans that most content will be added with Season 2, and that Season 1 is more about bug fixes and balance changes. Halo development studio 343 Industries announced it would work with modders to bring old cut content into the Master Chief Collection. The teams working on this project have been split into 2 groups. One group focuses on pre-release Halo Combat Evolved content, and another will focus on cut Halo 2 content. This includes Halo 2's famous E3 2003 Earth City demo. 343 confirms the goal isn't to suddenly start dropping content into the Master Chief Collection, but rather to have them polished so modders can use them instead. Fans are delighted that 343 is not only supporting modding like this, but that it's actively adding assets for them to use. Continuing on with the modding news, Luke Ross is a modder making over $20,000 a month on Patreon porting games to virtual reality. He's made VR versions of Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2. Unfortunately, Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two, isn't as happy with modding as 343 Industries. They have issued Ross a DMCA takedown, meaning his entire Patreon could be removed for violating the publisher's copyrights. This is another in the wave of bans issued by Take-Two in recent months. They don't take kindly to modders using their IPs for, well, most purposes. Star Citizen's 3.17.2 update is currently live on the game's test server. It launched a little over a week ago with some serious bugs. The most obvious issue was players and NPCs constantly teleporting around. This and several other issues have been addressed in recent PTU updates. The 3.17.2 update adds a bunch of new content to explore, like a new mission on a derelict pirate ship and a reclaimer shipwreck. Ubisoft announced the Division Resurgence for mobile devices. It's a free-to-play third-person shooter that'll launch on Android and iOS handhelds. The devs claim it'll be a AAA game experience featuring a new storyline and massive open world. It'll follow the first wave of Homeland Security agents and act as a prequel to The Division 1 and 2. Ubisoft hasn't given a launch date or launch window for the game, but they did confirm that it'll enter closed alpha testing soon. Square Enix and Luminous Productions' new RPG Forspoken has been delayed. It's been pushed back to January 24, 2023. According to the devs, the delay isn't because the game is unready, but it's more for strategic reasons. Perhaps this is being done so the game won't compete with other AAA titles launching around the holiday season. Ubisoft have finally revealed their open-world pirate game Skulll and Bones. During the Ubisoft Forward event this week, we were shown a little more of the game alongside the release date. It'll launch on November 8th for PC and current-gen consoles. The game is set in the Indian Ocean at the end of the 17th century. Players will build their empires by taking contracts, snatching up treasure, and expanding their fleets. Each server will host 20 players, and whether they'll work together or engage in PvP action is up to them. Nacon Studio Milan is a brand new studio and division of the French publisher Nacon. The devs have been working on a brand new Terminator survival game in the few months since the studio's reveal. This is the first survival game set in the Terminator universe, and specific details are very scarce. Fans were treated to a very short reveal trailer showing the classic T-800 appearing through a door. No release date has been set, and we shouldn't expect details anytime soon because the studio is so new. Before we move on to our final video today, make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. It's a great way to support the channel and make sure that you don't miss any news going down the road. E3 is set to return to LA in 2023 after taking a 3-year break. The gaming industry's biggest press event is scheduled to return next June. It'll be run in partnership with ReedPop. ReedPop is the event production company behind Comic-Con and Star Wars Celebration. E3 has been held virtually for the past few years, but 2023 is set to be the first in-person event since 2019. No specific dates have been disclosed yet. And that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.